I just couldn't believe it. I knew the time had come. We were going to have to pick that spot, and hopefully we would hit the mark this time. Well, what a year. You know, starting off the season October 1st with a cold front, we've seen lots of good deer, 145, 150-inch deer, a big 10. And, you know, when you crawl up in those trees that time of year, you hadn't been hunting in a long time, and it just feels good. You almost just get goosebumps. From there, we went over to the Bockelman Ranch, a brand new farm that I just fell in love with. It was right up next to some alfalfa, a beautiful creek. And to have the encounter with the Big 8 and to be able to hunt him is just something I live for.
This is what I love, is finding these suckers and playing the game.
From there, Daniel driving down the road and seeing the drop tine deer from the road, and us setting up that muddy blind and getting position for him, and just starting that cat and mouse game. And then having the drop tine daylight only to get run off by a trespasser. I don't know what these people are doing, and if I catch them, it's not gonna be good.
It's October 24th, and we got a blizzard. Cold front come in, snowing sideways.
You know, we passed the Big 9 in the snow. A scene in my head that I'll never forget. He come out of nowhere and actually walks under us within 15 steps, snow falling, big frame deer, just unreal.
That's him right here, here he comes.
And then the next moment of seeing the griffin buck come around that bodark tree with the snow falling and just take it all in.
Pretty safe to say that deer will be okay.
I love this game, but this feeling I got right now ain't no good. We always say hunting's highs and lows, and that's exactly what this was. Anyway, the deer's on camera, he's fine. And you know, we licked our wounds, we picked up, we took off, and we found the buck moose.
Gosh, that's a good deer.
As we were trying to locate that drop tine deer, and then, you know, moose, what a blessing he was, a big mature deer, older deer.
I looked up and I just seen horns. And this deer just showed up 2 nights ago on our stealth cameras. Dang it, dang it, dang it.
Finally be there at the right time, right wind, and he comes into 35 steps with unbelievable light, only to get him shot with that Paramount CVA muzzleloader was just a night that I will never forget. I know we say that a lot, but that is just the truth. What a night. Moose is down, all the lows that we've been through, and to go in and execute, right up close and personal out of the muddy blind, see him go down on camera, it doesn't get much better. What a buck though, look at that, guys. I mean, that is a stud. You know, he came in, he wasn't about 40 yards. I shot him 1/4 and 2 right through the shoulder. What a buck right here in northwest Oklahoma. You have those moments in your brain that you just will never forget. And then even after that, we knew we still had the griffin buck and the drop tine deer. The griffin buck is a buck that I've known since he was 2, so he was definitely going to be at the top of my list. Well, the griffin buck's one of the smartest bucks I've ever hunted, and to backstrap him and then him to show back up and know he's okay, to say I was excited would be an understatement. It was time to gear up and go see if we can get back on him.
We're playing a north wind that is actually blowing east-northeast right now, which is scary. Big pressure system in, high pressure. I got my daughter about a mile that way, which is pretty exciting. She's crawling into a stand right now. Daniel's in Kansas. Just missed a giant a little bit ago, but that happens. He's still on him deer, don't know what happened. So, we're after some big deer. Just Lord willing, we get on one tonight. This is where we actually shot that snow buck. Right there. And that's the deer we're after tonight. Excited. For the next 4 or 5 days, I think we're gonna kill some deer.
Well, one thing I've learned over the years is hunting these big mature bucks, you have to dot your I's, you have to cross your T's, and with this griffin buck, hadn't been daylight in 2 years, 30-degree drop in temperatures, the only thing that got him on his feet. I knew that we were gonna have to be careful, and just maybe he would make that mistake again.
Oh, dude, it's him. He's blowing up at this other buck. That worked very well. Could be the smartest buck I've ever shot, dude. Cool.
Well, hi guys, welcome to this week's product review. And I just wanted to take a second to talk to you a little bit about one of the most important items that I always make sure is in my backpack. And for me, that's the easy hanger from Real Treat. You know, I usually have 2 or 3 of them in there. For me, I like carrying the medium size one. It fits me. Sometimes on certain sets where I know I'm going, I will actually grab, they have different items like a longer one or a 3-arm one. Sometimes that's the best. I spend a lot of money on my bear archery bow and on my equipment. I want to make sure it's safe when I get up there and it's efficient and easy for me to get to. Also, when I'm getting set up in the tree, I don't want to be trying to screw and screw and screw. We've all tried to do that in the dark. You're making a lot of noise, you're starting to sweat, you're really stressing because you're trying to get set up quick. And for me, that's why they call it the easy hanger. It screws in really, really easy and is always safe and secure. So make sure you go to Realtree and check out their easy line of products.
Oh, dude, it's him.
Well, when I first looked up and saw the griffin buck, my heart sank. I just couldn't believe it. I knew the time had come. We were going to have to pick that spot, and hopefully we would hit the mark this time.
That worked very well. Could be the smartest buck I've ever shot, dude.
Well, guys, standing right here where we saw the big buck last night and just talking about it, you know, it just gives me chills standing here. So many big bucks have frequented this area. And that's something we know about this. There's a lot of history here, so we know. And some of the big things, the keys why, is because we're about a half a mile off the wheat field, big wheat field that way, but we are right next to some of the biggest bedding there is. Right over these sand dunes is nothing but little holes in the ground, brush everywhere, just thick, nasty brush bedding. And that allows these bucks, as soon as they get up, they're right here and they get to you before dark.
Fixing to walk up here, right here where I shot him. I got this Cyclops right here. This sucker's bright, so hopefully we can track him. I feel like we made a good shot. I feel like it went in and hit off shoulders, what I feel like. Bud. Scared.
As I walked up on this deer, I was just relieved. I mean, Cole had been every step of the way with me, and it had been a journey. I just got to say, it was just a relief in a sense, but at the same time, it was so much joy. And then there was so much respect for this deer. I am so tickled. My second buck in Oklahoma, in the last week, this one with my brand new Status bear archery bow. And let me tell you, this buck, he ain't the biggest deer I've ever shot, but he is definitely up there with one of the smartest deer. This deer was so disciplined. I mean, he was just the epitome of a disciplined whitetail 5-6-year-old, and even during the rut. This is the deer, the snow buck. This is the famous, to me, snow buck. The footage that Cole laid down, it was unbelievable. And here he is, guys, just unbelievable deer. I mean, he's actually got 9 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with that big split. 7, 8, 9. I think 15 scorables. And just like I said, just an unbelievable deer. Pressure's it. Pressure and a temperature drop. I mean, yesterday was, I think, 70 here. We only came in to hunt, and that was with temperature drop with a high pressure system. Last night was a 30-degree drop in temperature with 30.57. You know, so just standing back at these places, and you just, even the smell and the feel and everything that kind of comes back into that. I can't explain it, and you only know what I'm talking about if you've been there. But, you know, shot a 173-inch deer that night, and it ain't even about the score with him at all. It's just he's just a good, smart deer that he was a fun to chase. This is the deer we call the griffin buck. Realtree, Chris Griffin passed this deer as a 3-year-old, and Chris, I'm sure glad you did. It's a really nice buck up here in northwest Oklahoma. You know, it's real fun too, taking the griffin buck, and Jaylee knew how hard I hunted this deer, and to be with her and let her hold this deer and see it, it was pretty special.
Yay, I bet that felt good.
It did. He's one of the smartest deer I've ever hunted, I know that. Gosh, it was so still. I didn't know if we was gonna get it done.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, every year you can find those special moments, and I had killed 2 big bucks already in the season, and they were definitely special moments. But you know, there were so many other camps that year. I mean, from my daughter and John being in camp and having such unbelievable time, and just the fellowship with so many that I'd had, Easton and Realtree and Academy and all that stuff. It's stuff that is part of the journey, and it's part of something that I've learned to see more of and enjoy, whether you kill them 2 big bucks or not. 1 4/8. So that'd be 173 and 4/8. Well, one thing about it, after all this said and done, the drop time deer is on the move. He's daylight. It's that time of year. And I'd been talking to Tyler Jordan with Realtree, and he was up in Kansas, wasn't having a lot of luck, so he decides he's going to whip down to the ranch, and we're going to see if we can't get him in there on the drop time deer.
What's these deer right here? What's those deer? Hey, that's the drop time. Yeah, for sure. Hey, he's coming up here quick now.
Well, you know, over the years, we've had Realtree, we've had Bill Jordan, we've had Brian Doman, several different Realtree guys, and they've all killed deer with us. And Tyler's hunted with us before, but he's never killed.
That sun's got a bad glare to it. Okay, you want him right there? Drop. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Yes. It was pretty intense. Philip and I were kind of back and forth just trying to figure it out, and you know, I couldn't find the deer. That sun coming up right here just caused a bad glare in the scope, and I couldn't find him for a little bit, but I appreciate Philip being patient with me. Mr. Danker.
Dude!
He's a stud.
Where did you get on the hill?
We did. We got to that point, you know, you were kind of telling us to get to.
Yeah.
And so it worked out great. We killed him right from there. We got it done. Thank you so much for.
Dude, he's awesome. What's that drop, 8 or 9?
Shoot. Yeah, at least. It may be, yeah, Philip thinks it may be 10.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's cool looking. I can't thank you enough. That is one of the most impressive deer I've ever shot or even seen. Look at that drop time though, y'all. That thing is impressive. He is a stud, y'all.
Well, hey guys, welcome to this week's Walk by Faith. Let's open up to Genesis 1:1. It says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." And that's the only verse I want to read this week, and it's so important. I know so many people that say they're Christians, but they don't believe that God created the world, and I have a problem with that. The Bible has a problem with that. To me, you can't be a Christian if you don't believe God created the world. You're not believing in the right God. And so I encourage you to read this book and to study that out, because our God is in heaven. He is our creator. And as an outdoorsman, man, I look around and you can't get by without the creator. I'm Jeff Danker, and remember, as we always say, shoot by sight, walk by faith.